Alright everyone, let's go over the plan one more time. Our goal here is to try and eliminate Ornus once and for all. We've already had too many close calls while trying to avoid engaging him before this point. We've lost one of our own too, with Bale's death at his hands. As such, we need to make sure we're all on the same page for this to work. First, we are not going to be blowing up the stables immediately. Owing to the fact that we don't know what's behind and to the east of the stables, there is a decent chance that Ornus will come from around that far corner. If we attempt to destroy the stables and Ornus makes his appearance before everything else is in place, Meester and anyone accompanying him into the stables will be in a very bad position once the door leading out gets blocked off. Better that we don't risk it for now. The plan, instead, is as follows. Vamyar and Meester will act as early warning and scouts, ensuring our flank is clear. With them stationing themselves in the tavern in lieu of the latter blowing up the stables, we can ensure that we'll know in advance if Ornus attempts to approach from the west. Should either of you spot him, sound the alert and we'll retreat into the tavern and make another attempt a little later once he's moved elsewhere. We don't want to get cut off from our own safe zone. Meanwhile, Ulrich, as well as Karim and Grabthar, assuming you're up for it, will all be waiting out of sight behind the tavern's south wall. You three will be our close quarters answer for when Ornus inevitably charges into close range. Kodal and I will be here, at the crossroads right near where we first entered the keep. I'll use one of the flowers Kodal picked earlier to try and use it to lure Ornus to us. From his reactions to our earlier antics in the mazes, it's very clear that he still enforces the rules of the gardens to an intense degree. So I'll either wear the flower or damage it in some way, which should act as a lure in itself, without anyone having to risk getting blindsided by picking a fresh one from the bushes. Once Ornus makes his appearance, preferably down the central lane, Kodal and I will be able to leverage some surprises of ours while Ornus is approaching. I expect us to have enough time to launch at least one salvo of magic before he closes the gap. Once he does, that's where the rest of you come into play. Vamyar and Meester will be able to take advantage of their higher elevation to rain the fury of the gods down upon him. Still, with that advantage, be sure to conserve your more limited materials. We still have the interior of the keep to deal with, after all. Ulrich, Karim, and Grabthar will move to engage once Ornus is close. By letting him close the gap, we can get the jump on him. My hope is the first salvo will soften him up enough that the ambush will seal his fate, but there is a distinct possibility that will be the case. If he's still standing, Kodal and I will disengage and fire a second salvo of magic at him. If the first set of attacks find their mark, the second set of attacks should be more than enough to put Ornus down for good. But, as ever when it comes to war, there are never any true guarantees. Do what you can to keep yourself out of harm's way, as Kodal and I will not be in a position to heal anyone for the first several crucial seconds of the battle. Finally, if we're successful, I'll ensure he won't just stand back up. Dealing with the undead is my specialty, and making sure they stay down is my duty. Once he's down, we'll take him to the graveyard and bury him in his plot once more, and then try to sanctify the area. With a bit of luck, that should be enough to put him to rest for good. Or at least long enough for us to accomplish what we came here to do and leave. Any questions? No? Then let's get into position, everyone.